quorum. We have Councilmember Bob Blumenfield and Kern Price here as well, so thank you very much. Members, we're going to go ahead and jump right into agenda. In fact, I don't believe there are too many public comment cards on any of the items today, so we'll jump right into it. Also, just to remind you, for members of the public, there is no food here, so Mr. Herman, you can eat that outside if you want to, or put it away. You're going to be escorted out if you're not. Thank you. So I believe we have, let's jump to consent items. Well, before I do that, I'm going to skip, I'll jump right over to item 7, and I believe we have some amendments to item 7. And do you want to bring up that one? So we'll go ahead for a staff presentation on that first.
Good afternoon, honorable members of the committee. My name is Elva Nunez O'Donnell. I'm a city planner with major projects. Before you is the Providence Tarzana Medical Center project, consisting of improvements to existing hospital that has been at its current location since 1973. Improvements include upgrades and enhancements to the hospital's main building, diagnostic and treatment areas, and emergency services, as well as a new parking structure. A public hearing was held on the project on November 14, 2017, where the project received extensive support from the community, the Tarzana Neighborhood Council, as well as other various nonprofit organizations and entities in the San Fernando Valley. The environmental impact report was certified on December 5th, 2017 by the advisory agency and included the adoptions of the associated statement of overriding considerations, accompanying mitigation measures, and mitigation monitoring program. The City Planning Commission released its determination on February 13th, 2018. No appeals were filed on the case or the project's related vested tentative track. If I may, I would like to take this opportunity to make 2 minor technical corrections to the resolution before you. The 3rd paragraph on page 1 of the resolution had a permanent TQ transpose, so it should read TQ and not QT. And the last paragraph on page 2, where the case number is identified in the last sentence, should read VZC as investing zone change and not VZV. And the ZU should read CU as in conditional use. Staff is available if you have any questions.
Okay, so thank you very much. And we have an amendment on that. Before I take public comment as well, want to,
yeah,
I'll go. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, wanted to just talk generally about this project and the amendment. Colleagues, everyone, I'm really excited to see this move forward today. It is finally before the City Council. This is an upgrade to the modernization of Providence Tarzana Medical Center. It is desperately needed for the West Valley. There's cutting-edge technology here. It is a major investment, not only the jobs that come along with that investment, but this hospital is critical to the health and safety of our community. And seeing these upgrades is really going to be wonderful, and the community is 100% behind it. The changes are going to ensure the West Valley will have a safe and convenient hospital for its residents. And I also want to say that, and I want to congratulate the team. You guys have done a great job of doing outreach with the community, diligently making sure that it was, got to this point today with universal support behind it. That is not an easy task in our area, as you all know, but people understand how important this hospital is and what these upgrades mean to our community. Personally, I want to thank you, Dale Surwitz, who's here, and I know is going to say a few words. He's the hospital's CEO. He's really given this personal attention to make this happen. He's also a Tarzana resident, which doesn't hurt, so the impacts, you know them well. And we have members of the community here as well, Kathy Deladon and other folks who are here who've just been part of this community and make it great, and they are behind this hospital. The amendment before us it basically deals with the number of electric vehicles. It makes sure that it's the right size, the right number of electric vehicles. Still is going to be parked over the number that is required, but making sure that we are a green hospital doing right by our community. I also want to mention, Tarzana has been a great partner with different nonprofits in the area, which is particularly important to me as we deal with the homeless crisis. And Providence is committed to increasing its mental health emergency services to help us get the needed resources we need in the West Valley. They're committed for startup funding of at least $100K to help make that commitment work, because homelessness is part of our health crisis, and mental health is part of this issue, and the hospital can play and has played and will play a very constructive role in this. So I look forward to working with them on that new initiative, on seeing this modern hospital become a reality. It is just wonderful. I couldn't be more proud. So thank you for bringing this forward, and I urge support not only for the amendment but for the whole report. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much. So why don't we go ahead and actually take public comment. But before we jump into this item on public comment, there are members here that have filled out cards for multiple speaker items and as well as general public comment. So we're going to go through those first. Herman, if you want to come up on multiple speaker cards, you've got your 2 minutes. And stick to the items. You know all the rules, and we'll remind you of any of the rules. Thank you.
So good news in Tarzana. Now I can attend a medical facility for the so-called mental abuse that I experienced here at City Hall. That's the greatest news I've heard, Mr. Bloomfield. I want to thank you. When you do something good, but this is a delightful message to the public that we're fucking tired of seeing homeless people engage out on the street 5150. Although I don't meet that criteria, but I do have a medical condition. And when somebody does this to me or calls me out in this manner, I find that as a threat. I go to therapy every fucking month. But when some white nigger president from the city of
You're
Los
not actually
Angeles,
talking on. You're not on the subject matter, so
I'm
that forfeits
dealing
your
with
time.
mental health.
No, and now you're yelling into the
I'm
microphone.
saying
There's
how
no yelling.
well, how good
No, you're
Mr.
talking about
Bloomfield
you
is
in
providing
interaction, so-
Tarzana with a medical facility, sir.
Sorry,
this
your
is
time-
item number 7.
You completely off
So
topic.
now my general public comment, motherfucker.
Okay, stay on the
The
purview of
intent
this
to
committee.
censor and prevent me from exercising my right to free speech, my right of assembly, and my right to due process, you motherfucker, for the malice, disregard, and disrespect under the Brown Act by your oppressive, tyrannical disregard to my free speech, motherfucker. So with intent and your intention to disregard my physical and mental disability under 42 U.S.C. 1983 and 42 U.S.C. 12101, I have the ability to protest on behalf of all the homeless people in Los Angeles to say one great thing to you, Mitchell Englander, 5th place loser. Fuck you.
All right. Thank you very much for your eloquent words once again. And with that, are there any other folks here that wish to speak on multiple comment items? So we'll go ahead and close the multiple comment portion of the meeting. Are there any here that wish to speak on general public comment? General public comment? Not under any of the items on the agenda, but under the purview of this committee? Okay, come on up on a general public comment. All right, and just note for the record that Armando Herman continues to shout out as he's leaving the meeting. Well noted. Continuing to disrupt this meeting. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Jane Taguchi. I first came to a
Excuse
plum
me
meeting.
for 1 second. Go ahead and hold your time. I'm going to start it over. He was still disrupting your time as he was out in the hall. So go ahead and come back on up. Just want to start your clock over and note for the record. We want to make sure we hear you.
Thank you. My name is Jane Taguchi. I first came to a plum meeting 3.5 years ago when I complained of an Airbnb across the street from me. I had hoped for enforcement, which never happened. Since then, without enforcement, many more short-term rentals have appeared. Are these sharing to make extra money or businesses? This Airbnb host earned hundreds of thousands of dollars. She verbally threatened me, called the police, sent cease and desist letters to neighbors, and even took me to civil court. All this was lies, and she doesn't even live at the house. I don't have a financial stake here. I am a law-abiding citizen and my group of 99%. Airbnb and hosts make money. The city makes TOT tax money. I get nothing out of this except I want peaceful enjoyment of my home without a hotel next door. Next week, please pass an ordinance that gives us transparency, fairness, and enforcement. I've been waiting for 4 years now. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Susan Hunter. I'm with the Los Angeles Tenants Union, Hollywood local. Some of you may already know me. Some of you may already know the rest of us that are here today. We are actually going to each council person's office because we are asking you in every possible way that we can to finally bring the home sharing ordinance to a vote. It has been 3 years. As groups of people who are trying to stop massive displacement that is happening across the city, and we are in a humanitarian crisis right now. You cannot deny that. And a major factor in that is that we, as activists, are going to Building and Safety and asking that something be done about illegal home sharing, and Building and Safety says, we're waiting on the council members, go talk to them. So we're here today, and we're asking you, please bring this to a vote at the next Plum hearing. We have to be able to have some kind of enforcement. And right there, right now, we don't have any enforcement. We have nothing to push back against. So we're asking you to please help us help you. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Ahmad Butler. I am a Unite Here Local 11 member. And I am also here to ask you to put this ordinance finally up for a vote. As a member of Local 11, our members are having a hard time finding homes where we work. We are often priced out of the neighborhoods where the hotels are because of Airbnb is one instance, but there's many instances in the housing crisis. But we feel as though if we were to put this up for a vote, we can take care of this one portion of the crisis and move on to the bigger issues at hand. So please put this up for a vote next week. Put it to the council and let us finally move forward with this issue so that we can get these things. We can get this done. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Jose Soto. I work with Unite Here. I represent workers in my union. I want to thank you for the time appropriated to deal with the problem of commercialized renting without proper oversight. I believe in property rights that help property owners keep their homes, but also protects them from market manipulation. Turning buildings into basic hotels without basic principles and permits is an injustice to our hotel industry. It represents, I represent that industry and the people that I work with. We see that the industry is changing, and as times change, we need to change with it. We see our members having to buy homes in other cities, which cost the city taxpayer money because they end up buying properties in other places. The fact that we allow competition between private entities and companies enables them to charge higher rental prices and influences the markets by leaving the high home prices at an unreachable level. By you voting on this, you can stop this. You're also enabling them to play with the markets and manipulate the markets and leave them up high.
Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Edna Monroy and I'm here with Strategic Actions for a Just Economy, SAGE. I'm a resident of South Central LA, and I'm here to urge you all to please bring to a vote this very important matter to our community members. As at SAGE, we run a tenant rights clinic, and every week we see an increased number of eviction notices on lawful detainers, and a lot of unhealthy living conditions as well as harassment from landlords to tenants. And so this just further worsens the conditions that tenants face, especially low-income Black and Brown community members, further being pushed out of our communities here because rent is becoming less affordable. And we need this to bring some solutions to this issue that is getting worse, and we count on your support. Please bring to this for a vote. We can no longer wait. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Hi, my name name is Steve Dusin with Democratic Socialists of America, Los Angeles. I'm also on the board of the Central Hollywood Neighborhood Council, though I'm not speaking in an official capacity, simply as a resident and a stakeholder of that neighborhood. Hollywood has a lot of short-term rentals, as I'm sure you can imagine, especially in my neighborhood. It's directly south of Sunset Boulevard. We're very close to a lot of the tourist attractions, and I've kind of slowly started to see in the course of walking my dog around my neighborhood more and more housing getting dedicated and turned into full-time commercial short-term rental properties. This is not folks sharing their homes or sharing an extra room or sharing a granny flat. This is apartment buildings that could be housing for families. If we're serious about solving this housing crisis, and if housing is something that's going to be subject to the whims of the market, as it currently is under capitalism, then we have to make sure that the market it has homes available in it, and that those homes are available to people and not just to tourists. And in an area that has 10 hotel projects going up in a small area, let's fill those up. Let's fill up those hotel rooms with hotel guests, and let's fill up our houses with people. So thank you. I urge you to bring this to a vote next week. We need it.
Good afternoon. My name is Carly Kirchin. I'm going to be reading a portion of a letter from Ruth Schwartz, who's the executive director of Shelter Partnership. She couldn't join us today because she was sick. Los Angeles has always been a city of home sharing where many homeowners and renters rent out a bedroom or bedrooms to lower income and middle income households, including students, seniors, single individuals, and family members. The practice of subleasing is done for multiple reasons, including financial benefits, the ability to assist somebody in financial hardship, as well as the desire for companionship. This practice is an important portion of our affordable housing stock. Homeowners who might otherwise rent out bedrooms long-term are now choosing transient uses. While there may be financial windfalls for homeowners and apartment leasers resulting from renting out extra bedrooms for transient uses, this would reduce the volume of housing that is available for additional house-sharing purposes, thus further tightening our rental market. It is important to limit the time so that profit from transient use does not replace long-term rental purposes. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Seeing no other general public comment, we'll go ahead and close general public comment and turn our attention to the agenda. On item 1, is there anything from the director? I know we're going.
Councilman, did you act on
Nothing
item
yet.
7?
Nothing yet.
Not yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah. Your mic's not on? Did you have anything? There you go.
Thank you, Chair Englander, members of the committee. Just real briefly, at the last City Planning Commission meeting on March 8th, they heard and will recommend it to this committee approval of updated fees for 2 specific plans in the west side. That was the coastal transportation corridor on the West Los Angeles transportation improvement and mitigation specific plans. These impact fees will go to be able to charge development projects to pay for improvements in that area for much needed mobility. That's something a project has been ongoing for probably around 10 years. So it's an important part that we make sure that new development pays for its fair share of what impacts it has on mobility in the area. So that's 2 specific plans where that went through recently. And also the City Planning Commission also heard the Fig and Pico Conference Center project. That's the project at Figueroa and Pico that has its 2 towers, 3 hotels, and it's right across from the convention center. So you'll be hearing that soon. That concludes my report, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? All right. Thank you very much. Thanks for being here as well. So we can dispose of item 1. We'll go ahead and go back on to item 7, and we've had the staff report as well as the amendments, and we have a number of public comments on that. So if you guys want to just start coming up, thank you for your patience as well. And if you guys want to start just coming up for those who wish to speak on public comment, we appreciate you waiting here. Afternoon, Dale. How are you? And welcome to since you got exposed to the public comment portions of some of our gadflies as well, we wanted to make sure you had the full experience here at City Hall. So good afternoon. Thank you.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon, Councilmember Englander, Councilmember Blumenfeld, and Councilmember Price. I'm Dale Serwitz. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Providence Tarzana Medical Center. For over 4 decades, Providence Tarzana has provided excellent, compassionate, high-quality care servicing the San Fernando Valley. However, we're challenged by our existing facilities, including a patient building dating back to 1973. The hospital needs to be replaced, that particular part of the building, that tower. And so for over 4 decades, we've provided excellent care, but we do need to make some changes. The hospital must be upgraded to continue providing high-quality medical care servicing our community. The goal of our project is to provide modern healthcare facilities and high-quality care both now and into the future. It's a $540 million investment, supports 900 physicians, 1,500 healthcare workers are also supported by this, and 1,000 construction jobs through this project. I urge your approval for our project. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, council members. I'm Beth Gordy with Latham & Watkins. We submitted a letter and a presentation providing an overview and images of the Tarzana Reimagined project. In order for the medical center facilities to meet changing healthcare needs and accommodate the high standard of care provided by Providence's doctors and staff, the project includes the hospital's main building replacement, expansion of the diagnostic and treatment areas, a new patient wing that will include a new expanded emergency department, and a new parking structure. In addition to the public benefits that Dale mentioned, the project also includes significant street improvements, including a new crosswalk and traffic signal along Burbank, and on both Burbank and Clark, reconstruction of the sidewalks and enhanced landscaping. The project also provides new landscaping throughout the medical center. We thank staff for their work on this project and request your approval. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, council members. Cindy Starrett from Latham & Watkins. I just wanted to speak very briefly to the clarification and say that we appreciate very much the council members' leadership. The City Planning Commission has a policy to encourage applicants to provide 5% of the spaces in new structures for electric vehicle parking, either ready with a charger or prepared for future provision with a charger. And we are completely committed to this clarification. We'll have over 100 spaces that meet that requirement, and in addition to the new garage, staff asked us to include some in the surface parking areas nearby, so we've done that as well. So we appreciate the city's help with this project and look forward to building it as soon as possible. Thank you very much.
My name is Kathy Deladoni. I'm president of the Plan Review Board of the Ventura-Cahuenga Boulevard Corridor Specific Plan. The board is composed of appointees from of the 6 communities along Ventura Boulevard. The board unanimously voted to change the boundaries of the plan in order to remove the hospital from the plan. The board members felt that it would be more efficient to approve an amendment to the plan than to deal with the multitude of exceptions that would be required without an amendment. The timely redevelopment of this medical center is essential to provide for the future needs of the San Fernando Valley. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Armando Flores with the Valley Industry and Commerce Association, VICA. I'm here today to urge you to support Providence Tarzana's investment to improve access to critical health care services in the San Fernando Valley. Providence Tarzana will continue to be a world-class hospital, and with the new additions, they will be able to better accommodate the community's growing medical needs. Providence Tarzana Medical Center is one of the largest job providers in the San Fernando Valley, and this project will provide over 1,000 additional construction jobs. Providence Tarzana is investing over $500 million with community support to build a state-of-the-art patient wing, a new emergency department, and expanded diagnostic and treatment areas. This major investment will directly benefit the San Fernando Valley, ensuring we receive high-quality care for decades to come. I urge you to support this project. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, council members. My name is Olivia Lee with the Los Angeles Area Chamber of Commerce, here in strong support for the Providence Tarzana Medical Center Reimagined project. Ranked among the nation's top 100 hospitals, Providence Tarzana has consistently provided the highest level of care to residents of the San Fernando Valley and beyond. The new patient wing will feature advanced medical technology and a new PICU for our most vulnerable community members. Our community deserves this investment. With that, we ask you to support this project today. Thank you so much.
Michael Soto, National Union of Healthcare Workers. We represent roughly 600 workers at Tarzana Providence Hospital, and we are in favor of the hospital development and believe it's desperately needed, but we also believe that Tarzana needs to do more to address the two needs that it identified in its own studies, homelessness or mental health and housing, and while we believe that adding more patient rooms and $100,000 for mental health is a good first step, we believe they could do more and also take steps in order to address affordable housing. And we look forward to having a robust conversation with Tarzana Providence and the City Council. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Leon Woods. I'm a longtime board member of the Encino Chamber of Commerce. And speaking on behalf of the Chamber, we fully support the Providence Tarzana project. The hospital, the Tarzana campus, is a leader in the medical industry. We all know that, bringing the highest quality of care to our families, to our community. Not just spending the hundreds of millions of dollars for beautification, enhancement, and bringing state-of-the-art equipment onto the campus. It is also an opportunity to create much needed jobs for our local workers. This is a crown jewel of the San Fernando Valley. Our chamber supports it, and we encourage you to approve the plan, and also to not just the dollars, but the time that it took in organization to put something like this together. Everyone in the San Fernando Valley, after you vote yes, I'm sure will give a smile. Thank you for your time.
No, thank you very much. Our final speaker.
Good afternoon. My name is Ernesto Medrano with the LA and Orange County Building and Construction Trades Council. We have a project labor agreement with Providence Tarzana Project. We're very proud of that. It's clear that they're leaders in the healthcare industry. They provide good jobs and good opportunities and good services for the community. Providence Tarzana also employs about 1,500 employees and is committed to investing in the San Fernando region to better serve the patients and their visitors and employees and physicians. This project will create 1,000 construction jobs that are high skill and high wage. Thank you for your time. We are just supporting this investment in the San Fernando Valley. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, so that concludes the public comment on this item, and seeing no other questions from my colleagues, before we vote on this, I want to thank everybody, in particular Council Member Bob Blumenfield. You know, we far too often hear about hospitals closing or not being able to keep up with maintenance even at a minimum, yet alone expanding. And Providence has just been extraordinary partners here in the city of Los Angeles. And I thank you for that. And this is by far overdue, but there was a lot of community outreach and work with the council office. So I want to recognize all the work that both my colleague in Providence did on this, as well as your entire team. This is phenomenal. So with that, this is approved, and congratulations. So without objection, that's the order. Thank you very much. On the following items, on the balance of the following items.
Councilman,
yes.
Councilman, on item 7, we need to request the city attorney to prepare the amendment to the specific plan.
Right, okay.
And also to incorporate
the amendments.
The amendments that
Right.
Councilman Blumenfield made.
Yeah,
and
approved
the
as amended and
Okay.
with the instruction to have the
City
city attorney
attorney.
report. Right.
Okay.
So done. As agendized, with as amended. Perfect. And then on items 2 through 6, I'll go ahead and, 2 through 5, I'll move those on consent. Were there any other technical corrections on 2 through 5?
Just on 3, we're approving the city attorney prepare ordinance.
Right. Okay. And so we'll move it without objection. Those will be moved. And item 6 is a request for a continuance until April 17th. So without objection, we'll go ahead and move that to April 17th.
And you approved number 5, right?
We did, yes.
Okay, very good.
It was 2 through 5. All right, so that concludes this meeting. We are adjourned.